You just told me that the equipment we're doing this interview on is exactly the same stuff you use to film Lonely Girl 15.
Yeah, absolutely. The show is filmed with webcams, with a couple of desk lamps. So we'll tilt the curtains to get the natural lighting right, and a laptop. It's that simple, and that's kind of been the most exciting part of the project. Is it really is this little man's story of anyone in their apartment with these things that you can buy cheaply can do it.
Wow. So, how's the law career going?
The law career is going well. It has been 2 full-time jobs. I basically work 20 hours a day. My clients and the law job is the priority. When you become a lawyer, it's kind of the decision you make as the clients come first. So it's a schedule where I kind of wake up at 6 in the morning and do whatever needs to be done for that day, and then I will throughout the day spend a lot of time talking to my partners, Miles and Mesh, and going over scripts, going over plans for the internet, advertisers, anything that needs to be done, and then go back to the law job at night and make sure whatever is ready for the next day needs to get done.
Didn't you tell me you got your law clothes in the trunk of your car?
I do. I wear my my one hat today with my entertainment job, and then I will change on the way there. It's strange.
It's cool.
It's fun.
Well, how do your colleagues feel about having an internet mini mogul in practice?
Emphasis on mini. They're very excited. The firm, I work at Mitchell Silverberg, and the firm is incredibly supportive. It's a lot, they're supportive because it's a lot of what we do. I mean, we are a new media, technology firm, and the practice area I'm in, we do a lot of stuff with video games and with internet companies. So for them to see the training that I've gotten legally be put to work in this kind of entrepreneurial aspect, I think they're all very excited about it.
So is that how a nice young lawyer like yourself got involved in this kind of thing?
It is. It's basically, I met Miles Beckett in February of this year, and Miles had another internet project, and he came to me and talked about helping him out, and we did, I did a little work for him through the law firm. And then when this project came up, it was so grassroots that he had, he didn't want to hire a law firm. He didn't want to hire me as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Through our relationship before, he could tell that I had these creative aspects as well, and more kind of producer role is what I want to take with the company.
Yeah, one of the media said that you provide, when the three of you guys came together, so you were not at the karaoke bar birthday party where Miles met Mesh.
Not in May. That is correct. I met Miles about 3 months earlier.
But I read that you provided the, quote, know-how, unquote, for a shoot. Where did you get the know-how? Was that from work with your clients?
It certainly is a little bit of that. I would say that that's probably an overstatement. I mean, Miles and Mesh know what they're doing in the film industry. So in terms of setting up a casting and actually the technical aspects of making a film, those guys have the know-how. My know-how was more with the business side, with making the kind of proper decisions of, when you hire Jessica, she can't be under 18. These kind of in terms of the music you use, the posters you use in the background, these types of more nuts and bolts business legal decisions is where I came in. And then in just terms of the budget, how we're going to work with making that work. And then the step from going from really kind of fun internet phenomenon to turning this into a business model of building a website, having a community, doing it with the fans. Those are my departments.
Jessica Rose is the actress who plays Lonely Girl.
Is Bree, correct.
What was your very first reaction when Miles told you the idea?
Funny, I thought he was crazy. I really did. I thought that he was, it was so out there compared to what anyone in mainstream media or even the internet were really coming up with. But as probably within a minute of thinking he's crazy, I really thought it was brilliant. I thought that it was, the brilliance is how relevant it is right now. I mean, YouTube, the popularity of YouTube, the popularity of users right now creating their own content and putting it on the internet for the world to see, I think is just so empowering. And, about 2 weeks before I had this meeting with Miles and Mesh, I went to a lecture with Thomas Friedman, who's the author of The World is Flat.
Right.
And he talks a lot about this concept of, individuals creating works in a digital format and then distributing them to the world. And I was fascinated with that concept. And when they came to me, I said, this is it. This is that model right there. We, the individual, can create something, have the eyeballs of the world see it, and one day be the Viacom, in our apartment with webcams.
It's also completely interactive because you wait to see what the responses are to each episode before you write the next one.
Absolutely. That was, to me, that was the biggest draw of this whole thing was the community aspect of it's collaborative storytelling. And like you just hinted on, we will wake up in the morning. Mesh is a screenwriter, so based on what we talked about, the day before of how we want the plot to unfold, he'll put the words on paper, circulate it to our team. We'll all go over, make notes to the script, and then they shoot that afternoon, and then it's edited that evening and put up on the internet. And the next 24 to 48 hours, all of us monitor every comment. The video responses that the fans make are one of the best parts about this whole thing. They'll turn their camera on, and they will either give Brie advice or they'll critique the art. The lighting was off, the music's no good, whatever they want to say, and we watch that and get the feel, and that is how the story's driven to the next level.
Or the one that called her the Antichrist.
Absolutely, they are all welcome. All opinions are embraced.
And the other one that said, "No, she's the actress in the Carnival Cruise commercial."
It was funny.
Well, now Brie is based on one of Mesh's recurring characters that he'd been writing about, right? A shy and precocious teenage girl.
Absolutely right.
How did you come up with the by now cyber legendary elements of Brie's life, the homeschooling, the mysterious and somewhat ominous religion that is never really identified? Daniel, the friend who's campaigning to be more.
Right. The truth is, like any novelist or screenwriter would come up, we sat around and we said, what is an interesting story? What are interesting, if you're going to tell a story, what are interesting components? The big emphasis early on, we knew because of this medium, because of the interactive element, that it needs to have mystery. It needs to have clues. The fans, it's almost an ARG to an extent, alternative gaming. So it's basically
don't get too technical.
Yeah, no problem. It's a sense where the fans go on this mission with us, and they look for the clues. And the coolest thing is, fans will actually take our videos and make freeze frames of every shot in the entire video, and then they will go and they'll Photoshop those. They'll circle different furniture in her room or little kind of stuffed animals they see, because all of them are potentially clues. And they'll investigate.
What did you? Is there anything that you can tell us that is uniquely Greg in the storyline?
Uniquely Greg in the storyline. My thing, what I really brought to the table was making sure from day one that the character was talking to the fans. So in certain videos, there's a video that's Peace Offering, where she basically had a fight with Daniel. And I was, and it was kind of my thought of saying, listen, all the fans are saying to her, Brie, talk to Daniel, make up with him, do something. So I actually, came up with that script and, submitted it to the team. And, we did our routine process of Mesh, put the words on the paper, and then we went from there. And so the components that interest me the most about the story are less the fictional elements of who she is and where she comes from, and more about the big process of telling the story with the fans, letting them affect it, letting them, share in her life. And so those interactive elements are really what I focus on.
Is that why you guys decided to be anonymous? Or what was the thinking behind that? That you didn't want anyone to know that this is fiction?
Right. I think the thinking was from day one, we really just wanted to tell a story that was as realistic feeling as possible. And because the internet is the state it is now, where anyone has the ability to create something and upload it on the internet, and the rest of the world doesn't know who that person is. So we kind of said, this is a really exciting interactive medium, so let's embrace that. Let's embrace that element of being anonymous and putting it out there. But on the flip side of that, from day one, we never said we are going to set out to deceive people. We would get from the first video, we started getting 50 to 100 emails a day. You're fake, you're an actress. And we never said from the beginning. And we knew that would happen because the lighting is really good. She doesn't respond.
A little too slick.
It's a little, it's not over the top like a production, but it is very well done. Yeah. And so we made the absolute conscious decision that we're never going to lie to people. We're never going to say, no, I'm real. Here's where I am. Here's what I'm doing. Really importantly, within a couple weeks of the show beginning, we started getting some press in some local publications.
When did the show go?
The first one of her blogs went up about June like June 10th or something, I believe. It's right in that range. We did a couple early ones, May 24th and May like 28th, just to kind of test the waters, just put some videos out there. And so early June, and within a week or two after that, we had these responses from fans that we never said no, we're real. And then from then, when the press picked up the story, we never had her pick up a newspaper and said, look guys, I'm in the paper. Because if she did that, then it would really be like, I'm a 16-year-old girl acknowledging my presence. What we wanted to do was create this clear barrier of, there's fictional Bree, and she lives in Bree's world, and she's struggling with Bree's problems. The fans can talk to Bree, but they can't talk to a real person. And so that was kind of how it played on. And real early on, if you watch the comments and see the momentum, the large majority of people, they got it. They got that, every single video we put up, we got tons and tons of them. You're an actress, this is fake, and that's just kind of how it went, and that momentum built.
And then the search was on to find out who was behind Lonely Girl 15, and your dad blew your cover.
He did. He's our quote, general counsel right now. I wanted him doing all of the technical legal work in terms of filing trademark applications or any other type of contract work that he's a very good sophisticated lawyer, so I wanted to make sure he was doing that stuff. And we sat around, and I'd say probably 3 weeks into the project, people started selling Lonely Girl 15 t-shirts and mugs and all that stuff. And we said to ourselves, okay, we're going to be anonymous for a period of time, but not forever. There's going to be a point in time where it's going to transition from what is really behind this story to a clearly fictional collaborative story. And we figured, if he files a trademark application on such and such day, it takes a while to get through the system. It will be a public record eventually, but that's going to be 6-8 weeks down the line, and our masks will be off by then. And the truth is that did happen. Our masks were still on. Our amazing sleuther fans went through the trademark application system and found it and posted it. And that was a shocker.
Then all hell broke loose.
Then it did turn that corner of, and the interesting thing is when that happened and when the whole CAA thing came out of that, we were connected, we were represented by a creative artist agency.
Which you got into through a friend, right?
Actually, my wife.
Your wife
is,
okay.
My wife, Amanda, is actually a very important component of the team. She's been with us from day one, but she worked at creative artist agencies as an assistant. So through her, she was able to make an introduction to a very junior person there and just say, my husband's working on this cool project, will you talk to him? And then I went in there and, told them all about the project, got them excited, and they brought us on board.
So it's a family affair. And then
all a family affair.
Didn't the casting director who found Jessica, wasn't she a friend too?
A good friend of Mesh, and she's terrific, volunteered the space and, helped us out finding the stars.
So you're living the whole social networking thing. Everything that's happened to you has been the result of somebody who was a friend or a family member.
Absolutely. I mean, it's LA, so you're certainly. I was born and raised
here.
I have a lot of family and extended friends, in the circles. So when you need to reach out to certain people, if you're going to do an entertainment project, it's the right place to do it here.
Any Bruin connections in this story?
No, there's some Berkeley connections, which is my undergrad. So
you're saying that on camera. How can you do that to us?
I won't talk about that.
But we are in the faculty library of the law building.
We are in the faculty library of the law building. I certainly am a Bruin through and through. So I am the Bruin connection, I guess.
Where'd you do your daydreaming on campus when you were here?
I was a library guy, to be honest with you. I was here. I was pretty dedicated to school when I was here, so I would come and I would.
Law is kind of intense.
Law is kind of intense.
But you got an undergraduate degree here too, didn't you?
No, I went to Cal undergrad.
So then you got your law degree here.
Then I got my law degree here, and it was when I was here, it was definitely pretty business for me, so I took it seriously.
So you're very comfortable in this room.
This is a comfortable room for me.
This is where I nap.
Absolutely, it's nice being back on campus here.
So you have this whirlwind experience. You are now an internet phenomenon, which is quite a designation for someone in the 21st century. It's the new version of winning the lottery, I guess. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you as a result of all of this?
There's a story. So after the show broke, after it broke that it was who was behind it, and we came out and did the interview with the LA Times, the press absolutely exploded. And so we were going to do an interview with CNN. And the way it worked was we filmed in the morning, they filmed a segment on us, and the segment was basically, interviewing us, getting the details of how it worked, and then they were going to take it, put it together into a 2-minute segment, have that be a lead-in to a live interview with Paula Zahn. And so this is, 24 hours after we did our first interview, and we have no experience doing, live interviews, certainly not national television, and we were incredibly nervous. And so we go to Paula Zahn, do the makeup, which is totally bizarre to have someone put makeup on me, get mic'd up, sit in the studio where, across the room is Larry King's table and, the background, and it was so surreal looking into the video camera. And I looked over my partners, and there was a massive amount of nervousness on all of our faces. We're seeing Paula Zahn on the other side of the screen, and then she goes to commercial. And the promos that everyone was doing, at that time was, when we come back, we'll be with the internet guys who, have captivated and, kind of angered millions of people. And the stories always changed when it came out, but we were, this is Paula Zahn, and she, she could be kind of tough. So we looked at each other, and we were like, okay, guys, live TV, maybe not such a good idea. And about a minute before she came back to our interview, the producer came on the headset in our ear and said, guys, there's been an E. coli breakout in 8 states. Live interviews canceled. We're just going to run the segment. And she was like, I'm sorry, that's terrible, I know. And we all looked at each other. We were like, fantastic. Got out of the live interview.
Upstaged by spinach.
Upstaged by the spinach.
What's not so funny about what's happened to you?
There really hasn't been too many negatives. I mean, it's been... it's been a lot of work. We've been so focused on the project, on the art, on making it work. And so I can't say that anything, at this point in time, I can't say that there's been a downside. Our families are incredibly supportive of all of us. Our friends are, the ones who've known have knew when it was incubating as this little show. And now that they see us on TV, they're very happy for us. My work is great. So it's fun right now.
Yeah, but you're doing all the interviews. Jessica Rose is doing... What about poor Daniel? He must be jealous. Nobody's paying attention to this kid.
Daniel is a very talented actor, and he has people calling him, and he has certainly his things lining up. The appeal of the story clearly right now is, Jessica and the people behind it. I'm sure as you get into any major motion picture, the supporting cast, they probably from time to time feel like where's the spotlight on them, but he's very talented. He's great to work with, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities coming his way.
What's the name of that actor?
His name is Yusuf, and so he is.
That's his.
His name is Yusuf Abu Jaleb, I think is his name. I don't want to mispronounce. Is
that his stage name or his real name?
That's his real name.
That's the name that he goes by.
That is his real name.
We should give him credit. We should give Daniel a little bit of credit because you don't want him to, because otherwise he's going to start complaining about where his motivation is and all that stuff.
The size of his trailer, right?
And all of a sudden you guys are going to have to be negotiating to get him on camera.
Yeah, he seems happy right now.
Overall, what would you say is the best thing about this whole thing?
For me personally, the best thing about the whole thing is being able to do this, kind of tap into this creative side of me, tap into the business side. Like I said, when I was in law school, I was very serious, and I'm passionate about the law. I enjoy being a lawyer, but there was that part of me that kind of felt something was missing in terms of the creative aspect and really business. I mean, I've gotten to meet some really influential people in this city at, great either entertainment or internet companies, sit in some boardrooms with some, and that's, to me, on a personal level, what I'm really starting to enjoy is more the business negotiating aspect of entertainment. And so I think it's opened my eyes, and also doing something on the internet. I mean, I've been a fan of the internet and this whole social networking development with the MySpace and the Friendster really for the last, probably 4 or 5 years. I've been following it pretty closely. And so to now feel like I am a component of that, it's awesome.
What was the worst thing that happened to you as a result of Lonely Girl?
My sleeping schedule. I sleep from, I probably sleep from about 2:30 in the morning to about 6 in the morning, and I've been doing that for the last 6 to 8 weeks. So I don't know if you could tell I got a little cold going here, but
you're coming across perfect.
Thank you.
I wouldn't worry about it. You're a pro already.
Thank you.
I think you're ready for Paula, actually.
Bring Paula on now, right? It was really just that moment of 24 hours after this happened. What are we doing here? So
now the show is being hosted by Rever. Right.
The show, we still, it's kind of on 2 platforms right now. It's on the lonelygirl15.com website,
right,
which is, and that's going to be its home eventually. It's still on YouTube, and just that's where the traffic is. That's where a lot of the fans are. So it's going to, and we will, organically when the time is right, have its home entirely on lonelygirl15.com.
Where did the religion come from? I know that came out of left field, but it's been bugging me.
You're going to have to watch the show.
There is a reveal coming.
There's
So it's
a lot.
not like a TV serial where like it'll get canceled and we never know what happens.
We will.
You have an arc.
We will do this show until is one viewer left to watch it, and we have an arc. We have everything planned out, and honestly, all of the mysteries and clues, they all lead to places, and the fans have picked up on them so far, and there's a lot more to come. So they will. To get back to the thing on Rever.
Yeah.
So the plan now is we have the lonelygirl15.com website, and that website is an entirely community-based website where the fans tell the story with us. And so the coolest component is we have our videos there, and through a partnership with Rever, at the end of our videos, an advertisement pops up. And we use Rever because it's so unintrusive on the storytelling element to have the video or the advertisement at the end. But the best part is fans. We've had so many fans. Anytime we put up a video, we get anywhere from 50 to 100 video responses of people, like I said, creating their own character. There's a kid doing Bree's brother. There's a guy doing Bree's father. To people just wanting to give her advice of what she should do with her Daniel or with her parents. And so all those people, we have the video upload component on our website. So all of those people are invited and encouraged to come to our website, put their videos there, and when they do that, an advertisement gets put on the end of their videos, and they make money too. They share in the revenue through the Rever system.
Terrific.
So we envision a day where some guy out there in Minnesota will create such a compelling character and get such a large fan base around his kind of side story within the Bree world that he can quit his day job, because it's certainly a market that you can make enough money to support yourself.
And when are we going to see the action figure?
We certainly don't want to do anything that is going to be over the top marketing with offending our fans. People come to us all the time and say, when's the movie? When's the TV show? We like the internet. We like telling the story in this format where it's real time, where you can reach out and have this one-on-one contact with your fans. So if there's things the fans want, if they want an action figure, there's a forum. They can talk to us about the action figure, but we like to keep it real, kind of authentic.
So for now, Bree stays in her room.
That is for now.
And
Correct.
talks to us from there, which has worked pretty well for you so far.
It's a good combination of really good writing, and Jessica, is so talented that it's and Daniel or Yusuf is so talented as well. So that's the plan.
Well, it was a great idea, beautifully executed, and I know I'm not the kind of person who normally you would expect to be looking at it, but I love it too.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Greg, and I really appreciate the stories, and I really appreciate you showing up back at your old haunt here at the library.
It's very good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Thank you.